Hello students, standard 11th, supplementary, snapshot, lesson number 4, Albert Einstein at school. Actually it is an biography that was written on the life of Albert Einstein, and it was written by Patrick Pinkley, who was born in 1935 at New York and who was died in 1917 at London. Albert Einstein, who was born in 1879 and who was dead in 1955, is regarded as the greatest physicist since Newton. As we know that after Newton he was the great scientist. Actually he was scientist which was experiment on physics, that's why it is called physics. In the following extent from the young Einstein, the well-known biographer Patrick Pinkley describes the circumstances which led to Albert Einstein's expulsion from a German school. Patrick Pinkley, who was writer, photographer, wildlife biologist and educator. Let's see that what he tell about Albert Einstein. In what year Einstein asked the history teacher? History teacher asked Einstein, it is a reported speech sentence or kind of reported speech. Did the Persian defeat the French at Waterloo? Actually it was the class of history teacher. So obviously he asked about the question on history, based on history. So he asked that, what are you thinking? Did the Persian defeat the French in Waterloo? It means, did the Persian won the battle that was performed on the battlefield of Waterloo? I don't know, sir. At that time Einstein answered him, replied him that he had no idea about that. Why don't you know? You have been told if often enough. I have oftenly told about that, I oftenly explained about that topic, and then why don't you know that answer? It is not fair that you have to know of that answer because I already explained it many times. I must have forgotten. How silly or how ridiculous his answers were there. Did you ever try to learn? Asked Mr. Brown. Mr. Brown, who was his history teacher, remind that history teacher name is Mr. Brown. Who again asked him that, did you ever learn that you forgotten? If you learn, then it is the question of forgotten is there when you learn it. But do you learn it ever? No, sir. Albert replied with his usual unthinking honesty. Actually he was honest, and that's why he was answering with unthinking. He never think before give answer. Whatever come into his mind, he give answer. So it is called innocentness or an honesty in our language. So he replied that in a very innocent way, in a very honest way, he replied that no, I never tried to learn it. Why not? I can't see any point in learning dates. Actually, I cannot see any point in a learning dates. One can always look them up in a book. When I see the book, I cannot find any dates in a book. Mr. Brown was speechless for a few moments. You amaze me, Einstein. He said at last. He has nothing to say, so he only said that you amazed me. I cannot recognize you properly. Don't you realize that one can always look most things up in book? That applies to all facts you learn at school. Yes, sir. Then I suppose you don't see any point in learning facts. Don't you think that there is any point to learning facts? Frankly, sir, I don't. No, I don't think that. He frankly answered that I opposed you. I am not thinking about that as way as you think. It is the personification speech here, that completing on both qualities. Then you don't believe in education at all? You are not believe in books, then you believe in education? Oh, yes, sir, I do. I don't think learning facts is education. Actually, his thinking of way about the education is totally different at that time, and that's why he answered to his teacher that the definition of education is different at my point of view. As you think that what is education, it is not my point of view. So I think that learning dates is not a part of education. What is his thinking? We will see into our next video. Till then, have a nice day.